Under the burning desert sky, a tired young man walked alone, the dust of the road clinging to his clothes and his heart full of fear. He was fleeing his country, leaving behind his family, his home, and the brother he had deceived. His name was Jacob. He had left Beersheba for Haran, seeking refuge with his mother's relatives. One night God appeared to him in a dream, promising to accompany him, and that he would be the beginning of a great nation. With that promise in his soul, Jacob continued his journey until he reached a well covered by a heavy stone. In the distance, a young woman was descending towards the well. She held a staff in her hand and walked confidently, surrounded by her father's flock. When they looked at each other for the first time, something changed in Jacob's heart. He felt a deep quietness, a kind of peace that only God can give. Without waiting for help, he single-handedly lifted the stone from the well and watered her flock. The young woman looked at him in amazement. It was Rachel, the daughter of Laban, and without knowing it, she had just witnessed the beginning of one of the most beautiful love stories in the Bible. Laban welcomed him into his home, glad to have found his nephew. Jacob began to work for him, tending the flocks. With each passing day, the glances between him and Rachel grew warmer, deeper. It wasn't a rushed love, but one born of kindness and respect. One day Jacob told Laban, "I will serve you for 7 years for Rachel, your youngest daughter." Laban agreed, and Jacob began his years of service with a heart full of hope. Long, hard days followed, full of labor under the scorching sun. At night he slept outside with the flocks, but the thought of Rachel strengthened him. Time passed, but to him it seemed like a moment. The Bible says, 7 years seemed to him but a few days because he loved her. It was a love that does not tire, a love that asks for nothing but gives everything. When the 7 years were completed, Jacob asked for Rachel's hand in marriage. Laban prepared a great wedding with music, dancing, and joy. But that night, under the veil of tradition, Laban practiced deceit. Instead of Rachel, he gave him her older sister Leah. In the morning, as the sun entered the tent, Jacob saw the truth. The betrayal struck him like a deep wound. "Why have you deceived me?" he cried out. But Laban answered coldly, "It is not our custom to give the younger before the firstborn. If you want Rachel, serve me another 7 years." Jacob could have left. He could have avenged the deception, but he stayed. Not because he was weak, but because his love was stronger than injustice. He chose patience, not anger. He chose faith, not despair. And he worked another 7 years for the woman of his heart. Years of waiting, of silence, and of hope. In all these years, God prepared him. He taught him what it means to love with patience, to believe without proof, and to move forward even when wounded. When he finally took Rachel as his wife, his joy was complete. It was a love born not of ease, but of faithfulness and sacrifice. Rachel became the woman of his heart, the mother of the sons of the promise, Joseph and Benjamin. Their life was not without pain, but it was full of grace. Jacob and Rachel show us that true love does not run when things get hard. It waits, it prays, it fights, and it believes until the end. Sometimes God does not give us the answer immediately, but when the waiting is filled with faith, He transforms time into a blessing. Such was their love, a love that waited 7 years but remained alive forever.